All right. Okay, had to do my little mic check, 1, 2, all that good stuff. Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with another live stream. Lincoln Daddy, L Daddy, the godfather of gaming, the ageless wonder. How's everybody doing? You know what to do. Hit the like button. The rest will take care of itself. The bell icon too, as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hope you're enjoying the content. So, I just returned home from some grocery shopping, so I don't starve to death. Um, I don't plan to be on very long because I want to be able to get a little bit of gaming in before I go to bed because I return to work tomorrow. It's been a very enjoyable 3, 4 days that I've been off. I think it's been 5 days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Shit, yeah, I've been off 5 days. I've enjoyed every day of it. So, with that being said, I look forward to Labor Day so I can do it all over again. But that'll be a 4 day weekend. I always take the day after Labor Day off. Master Chief, you need a weapon. Can't help you there. I'm not an arms dealer, so I don't know what to tell you there, my friend. So let's get into the quickest and the easiest subject, and that is the Gears 5 beta. I was in the middle of playing Fight Night against Lunkin Lunker, and needless to say, he beat my ass. We fought 3 times, and he beat my ass all 3 fights. Stream just started? Yes, it did. Just started less than 5 minutes ago, Master Chief. And needless to say, Lunkin kicked my ass on Fight Night. We had 3 fights. He knocked me out every single fight. The best chance I had to beat him was the second fight. The fight went 10 rounds, and going into the 10th round, the scorecards were tied. But he knocked me out. He knocked me down twice. And actually, he knocked me down a total, I think, of 4 times. That fight. The 4th one, I couldn't get up. So even if I would have got up, I would have lost the fight anyway because every time you get knocked down, you lose a point in boxing. So anyway, I was in the middle of fighting him, and I got a party invite from my son. And he was like sending these invites repeatedly, one right after the other. So he sent me a message, and the message said that you need Game Pass to play the Gears 5 beta. What a surprise. And every fiber of my being does not want to touch Game Pass. But I know I can see that my son really, really wants to play this beta. So basically, what I'm going to try to do is try my damnedest. I'm hoping to find one of those $1 Game Pass subscriptions where you can get Game Pass for 1 month for $1. So if anybody has any of those codes, any of those vouchers, whatever it may be laying around, and you'd like to donate, in the words of Craig Harris, if you'd like to donate to the church, I would appreciate it. Master Chief, you said Mama said knock you out. So I really don't want to touch this Game Pass shit because even though people say it's not that difficult to, to remove your credit card information and that kind of stuff, I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if, when you want to cancel your Game Pass subscription, if it's going to be a fucking obstacle course where you got to go to the Xbox website, go into your account, go into settings, turn off auto renew, all kinds of bullshit, one obstacle after another, probably in the hopes that you'll just give up and let them keep taking the $10, $15 a month, depending on what they're throwing at you. He said, cannabis killed LL Cool J. You know what? I'm going to tell you a little short story about that cannabis LL Cool J situation, second round KO. You guys might know this already, but MTV had a show one time, and this show, I wish it would have kept running. And what this showed is, like, if people had beef with each other, they gave the nitty gritty details about what caused the beef. None of these professional answers where they say, "Oh, we just didn't see eye to eye," or he's in his element and I'm in mine, and we just couldn't, all this shit. No, they profiled the beef between Cannabis and LL Cool J, and they got to the nitty gritty of it. Fatal Sharad, what's up? And based on what happened, LL Cool J pulled some whole shit. Because I guess I can't remember the song that they did, but I guess the song. Damn, it's been a half hour already. Just a minute, folks. Yeah, it's been a half hour. My chicken's done. I'll let it cool off a little bit. Yeah, Spartan God, that's the song 4321. Now, I can't say if I remember ever hearing the song or not, because over the years I've gotten further and further away from rap music, especially now. Half these dudes dressing up like women and shit like that, and just rap music is just straight garbage these days. It ain't what it was when I was growing up. But anyway, this situation, real quick about the situation with Cannabis and LL Cool J. That song 4321. I guess in that song, according to Cannabis, in that song, LL and Cannabis, I guess, were somewhat taking lighthearted shots at each other. And I guess in one of those lyrics, Cannabis says something to the effect of "Let me borrow that mic on your arm," referring to the tattoo on Cool J's arm. And I guess Cool J took offense to it, and I guess Cannabis was trying to like pay a little bit of a tribute to him with that lyric. But still, I guess in any case, the Root of Legends, what's up? So I guess in any case, they were still like, I guess the lyrics in the song, I guess it was like taking lighthearted jabs at each other, according to Cannabis. So LL Cool J hit him up and said, "I don't like those lyrics. I don't like your lyrics in this song." And Cannabis said, "Okay, well, I'll go back in the studio and I'll change the lyrics where I'm giving you props, and then you go back into the studio and change your lyrics where you giving me props, where we giving each other props." And Cool J said, "Okay." Cannabis went back into the studio, changed the lyrics, but LL didn't do it. So now the song comes out sounding like LL is dissing Cannabis, but Cannabis is praising him, like like he holding his dick. And when they interviewed LL Cool J about him not changing his lyrics, giving Cannabis his props, his response was, "I didn't see the need to change it." Now I was like, that was some straight up bullshit, some straight up double crossing shit. When I heard that, I had like lost a lot of respect for LL Cool J, because he gave me the impression that he'll step on anybody to get to the top. Uncompetitive, what's up? So that was some straight up whole shit right there what Cool J did. So I don't know. Every time I hear a LL Cool J song, I still like his classic shit. But every time I hear one of his songs, I can't help but to think about, the way he pulled that shit on Cannabis. That was not cool. But so I already talked about the Gears 5 beta and rap battle incoming 321. So I already told you guys how I'm a little bit apprehensive about wanting to subscribe to Game Pass in order for my son to have access to the Gears 5 beta. I really don't want to do it. But basically what I'll probably end up doing, no, there's no probably to it. I will definitely, maybe a couple of days before the betas goes live, I'll go ahead and let him get a Game Pass membership. And then as soon as the beta is over, cancel it. And I'm willing to bet you Microsoft knows a good amount of people, the hardcore Gears fans that don't have Game Pass. They're going to get a Game Pass membership in order to access this Gears 5 beta. And Microsoft knows it. And because of that, probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you probably will not see any of these deals at the Xbox dashboard where it says Xbox Game Pass for $1. You probably won't see that shit. So I'm probably going to end up having to fork out $10 for a month, whatever this bullshit is. I have Game Pass Ultimate for 3 years for free. Hold on a second again, folks. Okay, folks, my apologies. Getting a little warm in here. I had to turn on the fan. So, but that's going to be it as far as Gears 5 beta. He said, I've already stacked Xbox Live Gold and getting 1 month of Ultimate. They upgrade all my gold to Ultimate, so I only pay them in 2020. I want no parts of any of these subscriptions. Uncompetitive. What's up, Cloud? Who the hell you calling old man? Oh shit. That's funny. Hey, so let's go ahead and talk about this this Xbox Mini. This morning I was tagged by, I believe, DT Gamer. And it was a link for an article for a rumored Xbox Mini, which looks like some sort of Apple TV box, whatever. That, to me, it wasn't a matter. If this turns out to be true, to me, I felt like it wasn't a matter of if, it's when they did something like this. I went through my library of videos that I've done, and I had to go dig up the receipts. And let me show you guys too. So 1 second here. Okay. Right there. There's the receipts right there. If you look in the lower left-hand corner, this video says Xbox Fire Stick in 2021. It only had 12 views. By this time, when I made this video, I think my channel was only about a month and a half old, and I think I only had like 17 subscribers when I made this video. And it's only a 5-minute video, so let me copy and paste and put this in the chat for you guys to go check it out. It's only a 5-minute video. But yes, I did have a feeling that once it became obvious that Microsoft, where it became, cloud-based gaming was going to be their vision for the future, it was to me, it was kind of a no-brainer that they were going to make some kind of box. And I just simplified and was like, okay, they're going to make some kind of a Fire Stick for gaming. And I remember having I can go ahead and stop sharing this now because I know you guys get the picture by now. But that video was made again, January. You said, "Look at you now, bro. Keep growing." I appreciate it, Cloud. But I've said this before. My channel grows, great. But if it doesn't, I'm fine with that too. Because at the end of the day, all I wanted was for my channel to get big enough that I can have a steady conversation with the chat, that I can basically carry on a nonstop conversation. Like yesterday's the podcast I did yesterday was a prime example. I really didn't have much to talk about, but I still wanted to interact with everybody. And the chat kept the podcast going by, feeding me things to talk about. So that's all I ever really wanted, because before I created my YouTube channel on Facebook, I was part of a gaming group on Facebook. And I used to go to N4G, and I would post the links from articles that I would see in N4G, mostly targeted at Microsoft, and just trying to show these dudes just how shady Microsoft is. Just admit you want to suplex me off Earth. So in this gaming group that I was part of on Facebook, one of the guys in there was an Xbot. And he got tired of me posting negative shit about Microsoft, every single day. So we got into a bit of an argument on Facebook, and he was like, "You always saying negative shit about Microsoft, and nobody reads this stuff anyway, blah, 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 blah." And I was willing to admit to myself that he's probably right, because this group that I was part of was mostly Xbox people, so they're not going to read negative shit about Microsoft. So I thought to myself, you know what? He's right. So I was like, I got to find another avenue to express my feelings with people who feel the same way I do. So, and around that time, that's when, I discovered, I think that's when I was starting to discover YouTubers. I was, discovered King Thrash, discovered, Big Cloud, like a week after I discovered King Thrash, and I thought they were the 1-2 punch. So, and I was listening to other YouTubers too, but Thrash and Cloud is who really stood out to me out of all the people that I was subscribed to, and that that kind of inspired me to start a YouTube channel. And when I talked to Thrash about it, he was like, "Do it. I'll be your biggest supporter." And so I started my channel, and the rest is history. But right after I started the channel, I was still having a lot of conversations with Thrash about the direction that we thought that Microsoft was going and what their vision was for the future. Jamal Adams, what's going on? Mod Razi, what's up? You said you have to be sad to enjoy Xbox. Arian Drake, what's going on? Excuse me. I'm up here burping and stuff. So around the time that Microsoft came out with the Xbox One X, and all the stuff was coming out about how this console was like screen tearing, frame drops, all that stuff that was going on, I had a conversation with King Thrash, and I told him that I had believed what happened with the Xbox One X is that they were probably halfway, 3/4 through developing the console. And I have felt like, Satya Nadella was probably ready to pull the plug on the Xbox brand. And I was under the, I had believed that Phil Spencer had convinced him, let me finish this project. The Xbox One X will sell enough of these consoles to get our money back from research, development, manufacturing, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll get out of here. We'll get out of gaming. That's what I really thought Microsoft was going to do at the time. I really thought they were getting ready to get out of gaming, and the Xbox One X was going to be Microsoft's last fuck you for the road. But it turns out they were going out in a different direction. So once it became obvious that Microsoft was headed towards cloud-based gaming, I was having different conversations with Thrash, and I was telling him that I believe Microsoft was going to make some kind of Fire Stick. And he thought that was a pretty good guess. But his thinking was that Microsoft was going to make some kind of console because they wanted something that was going to sit on your on your TV stand that people can come in and see. He said the thing about a Fire Stick, they're not going to see that because it's going to be dangling from behind the TV. So, Fatal Sharad, you said they're not getting out of gaming totally. They've been in PC gaming for decades. So, so moving on, I made a short story long talking about that, but the point of it was that I had believed, a year and a half ago, because that's when this video was made that I showed you guys was made January 28, 29. Let me look at that date again to be certain. January 28th of 2018. I believe they were going to make a Fire Stick. The one thing that I was wrong about was that I thought it wasn't going to happen until 2021 because I thought Microsoft would probably try to bleed out the Xbox One X, the consoles, the Xbox One S, and the Xbox One X, and sell them until they can't sell them anymore, and then they were going to be ready to make the move to cloud-based gaming, and then that's when they were going to introduce the Fire Stick, because I felt like in 2021 they were not going to introduce any consoles. That Fire Stick was going to be your next Xbox console, and that was going to be it. I didn't think there was going to be any Anaconda, any Xbox SAD edition, or that kind of shit. So I was right that a form of Fire Stick is coming if that happens. So I was right about that. I was wrong about what it appears I might be wrong about when it's going to happen, because rumors, like shit was flying across YouTube that it could possibly happen this year. And I was wrong about the price. I guessed it might be $40. And this article that I was tagged in says 60. So let me go ahead and put the link to this in the chat. That is the link to the video that I made a year and a half ago. It's only a 5-minute video. Please watch it. And just, comment and tell me how far off you thought I was. So now, I guess before I talk about why I think it makes sense, I'll lastly say that this Fire Stick, I'm just going to call it an Xbox Fire Stick, rather than an Apple TV box, whatever. This Xbox Fire Sticks, Xbox, whatever. God, I just lost my train of thought because I know I was having another conversation with Thrash about this particular thing, because I had a whole lot of conversations with Thrash about this. Oh, I was telling him that this is not basically, I was telling him how there was a service, I think back in the late, I think late 90s, early 2000s, there was a streaming service, I believe, called OnLive, and you needed a box in order to access everything that was there. And this box worked on any TV, even a TV from the 80s. They said it worked on any TV, any monitors. They said you could play it from a computer monitor, from a TV, whatever. And just the box alone, if you had the box alone, even without a membership, you could play demos for free. You could look in on other people who was playing. You could spectate what games they were playing, because at the time the Xbox or the PlayStation, neither one of those had that feature. I think that was the only service that had that feature where you could look in on, you could spectate people playing games. Again, you could demo anything that was in there. I think you could chat. I think you could chat for free, and that kind of stuff. And but I think for the subscription, I think it was like $10-15 a month, you could play any game in the library, and they had already worked out deals with some of the biggest publishers out there. So they had everything worked out. The big catch up, I was actually on board with that at the time. The big catch about it was that on live, their service covered the United States, but, and I said it in that video too, it split the country in half. So only the eastern half of the country would be able to game with each other, and only the western half of the country would be able to game with each other. So, but still, the point is that the box that you needed in order to access on live. I said that right there, it was a no-brainer that Xbox was going to have to do something like that if cloud-based gaming was going to be the direction they were headed in. So even at the moment, if anybody denies that this stuff is true about this Xbox Mini, I still think it's going to happen. Now, why do I think it? Rather than say that I think it makes more, rather than say that I think this Xbox Mini makes sense, because it does make sense. If cloud gaming is the direction they're headed in, and then Microsoft has this vision of leaving no stone unturned. You know, Microsoft wants you to be able to play their games when you taking a shit, you know, whether it's from your phone, tablet, whatever. So they are covering every single base. So with that being said, Xbox Mini makes sense. And I think the Xbox Mini also solidifies my belief that I think Microsoft is targeting kids with this cloud-based gaming. You know, we'll start with the Mini itself. I think it's going to be a lot easier to convince for kids to convince their parents to buy that Xbox Fire Stick Xbox Mini for $60 versus paying $250 for the Xbox Sad Edition, or $500 or $600 for what Anaconda is going to cost. It's going to be a lot easier for a kid to convince their parents of that, rather than if a kid has 5 games that he wants, he's going to have a hard time convincing his mother to spend $300 for all 5 of those games, but he might be able to convince her to pay $10 a month, or $10 or $15 a month for Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate to have access to all these games. You know, the kid can tell his mother that, like, I want this game, I want this game, I want this game, rather than spend $300 for it. You know, I can play these games for $15 a month. And so you might be able to get away with it that way. And then there's the game itself. You cannot, like, games like Bleeding Edge, I don't see how that game is for adults. All those Fortnite rainbow ass looking colors. And as far as the textures and all that stuff goes, it looks like, you know, it's got textures like Sea of Thieves and State of Decay. Says, let me look at your link. Be back in less than 10 minutes. Okay, Garuda, the video is only about 5 minutes. What's up? Don't call me Danny. How you doing, man? How you doing? So I think this is I think this cloud-based gaming is an entire ecosystem aimed at kids. You know, if the kids don't have a phone, there's the Xbox Mini. Like I said, then the Game Pass is an alternative for paying $60 for games, and then the content that they plan on delivering, Bleeding Edge, or, you know, this Ori and Will of the Wisp and all this kind of stuff. It's all kiddie looking shit. So I believe that's who Microsoft is targeting. I think they are targeting kids because somebody like me, if I got my mind made up, I'm not buying anything. They're not going to be able to convince me to buy shit. But this situation, like I just said earlier with this Gears 5 beta, my son hit me up and said that you need Game Pass in order to play the Gears 5 beta. Fuck that Gears, fuck Game Pass. Fuck the Gears 5 beta. But I'm breaking down and I'm going to get Game Pass so my son can play the Gears 5 beta. This is Microsoft's plan, in my opinion, is to create an ecosystem structured for kids. So it's easier to get a grown-up to say yes when they purchasing something for their kid versus purchasing something for themselves. The Gears 5 beta is July 19th, according to my son. So as an adult, it's going to be a lot easier to sell me a game like a Gears of War, like a Detroit Become Human, like an Uncharted. You're not going to sell me on some shit like Bleeding Edge or Disney Zoo Tycoon. You're not going to sell me on that shit. But I think one of the biggest reasons why Microsoft is trying to target kids is probably because of the success of Fortnite. Fortnite, like overnight sensation. And I think they're trying to take a page from Fortnite with those bright rainbow ass colors. But one thing about Microsoft, they are not original at all. They take everybody's ideas and they turn it into the biggest knockoff that you ever seen. I said this before about the Nintendo Wii. Microsoft took that and, in my opinion, went overboard with it. They created the Kinect towards the end of the generation. They took the idea of the Wii and it took it to another level. But they took it too far. They didn't leave it as an option. They tried to force you to take it next generation. Microsoft with the TV shit, they spent so much time promoting that TV shit that it became obvious that they were after the casuals right out the gate this generation. I mean, they didn't like promote shit for the hardcore people. All they did was basically promote the Kinect, promote that TV shit, and then told you what you can't do. You got, you can't do this, you can't do that. You got the 24-hour check-in, all that shit. But a lot of that shit that I mentioned, the Kinect, stole that idea from Nintendo. The TV shit, that might be, I don't think Microsoft was necessarily copying anybody, but again, they took an idea and they were trying to take it too far, because with this TV shit, they weren't trying to make gaming interactive by you watching a football game and being able to, weigh in on the surveys and all that kind of shit. Microsoft was trying to use the Xbox One to replace your cable box. They didn't leave it as a gaming console. They were trying to replace, your cable box. They said it themselves. They were trying to take over your living room. But you got to reach those casuals. And to me, the casuals, unless you got lightning in a bottle, to me, they are the hardest crowd to capture and keep them invested in it. MK, what's up? Now with Game Pass, what's up, Andre 6K? With Game Pass, once again, I think this is Microsoft taking another crack at casuals. And I think casuals, they're not going to be spending hours and hours on end playing games. They're not going to be constantly checking their Xboxes to see what new games is coming up. They're not going to be watching these videos to see what games are being developed for Game Pass. To me, the survival of Game Pass basically, in my opinion, depends on two things. Microsoft always offering deals to try to draw new people in, and basically, put it bluntly, gambling that people are going to pay for this subscription and basically forget about it. Hey, Garuda, thanks a lot. You said you listened to the vid. You're on point. Hey, thanks a lot, Garuda. I appreciate it. So I think with Game Pass, again, I think they're gambling on a lot of people paying for the subscription and just completely forgetting about it. And that's one thing I think about casuals. Subscriptions that cost like $10, they might have about 3, 4 of those subscriptions and paying $30, $40 a month and just forgetting about it because the shit is being plucked right from their credit card or right from their debit card. So they don't even know the shit's been taken out of their debit card until they get a bill for it. And I think with a lot of casuals, they just gonna completely forget about the shit. That is until they lose their jobs. Then that's when they're gonna start going over all that. That's when they're gonna start looking at their overhead and start finding out, okay, I need to cut this, I need to cut that, I don't need this, I don't need that. So I think a pivotal part of Game Pass's survival will depend on people completely forgetting that they're having that money taken out of their shit every month. Now, if they were getting $50 taken out of their debit card a month, then fuck yeah, they're gonna put a stop to that shit. But $5, $10, no, they're gonna forget about that shit. Especially if it's the only subscription they have. That and maybe Netflix. But as much as I hate to admit it, this Xbox Mini makes sense if Microsoft is going to go in this cloud-based gaming direction. Because I think the living room is still going to be the most played environment for Game Pass or for xCloud. People who are going to play these games on the go, they only going to be playing it 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, that kind of shit. So I think the majority of the gaming is still going to occur in the living room. And there's probably going to be people that do not have an Xbox, but don't want to play these games on phones or tablets or something like that. So with that being said, this Xbox Mini not only does it make sense, it's almost mandatory. You're going to provide this service, and with the living room still being the most critical element, in my opinion, of this subscription service, you have to give them a way to access it. So, so this Xbox Mini makes sense. I think $60 might be a little bit steep. Christopher, I think I said what's up to you, Christopher Hart, but what's up again? What's going on with you? So now we got that out of the way. Now that everybody and their mother knows that Microsoft is headed towards cloud-based gaming. With that being said, Xbox Sad Edition and Anaconda makes no sense whatsoever. Amir's, how's it going? Why? We've been down this road before talking about the Xbox Sad Edition. $60 for a mini Xbox. Yeah, it's basically, if the rumors is true, it's basically going to be like an Xbox Fire Stick or like an Apple TV box, whatever you want to call it. So, the image that I saw, it almost looks like one of those Alexas, looks like Alexa or Echo or whatever those things. It looks like one of those devices. So I'd probably say that it'd be worth anywhere from $20 to $40, but I think 60 is a little bit steep. But getting back to why I think the Anaconda makes no sense. Anaconda we'll start with the Xbox Sad Edition again. To me, that makes no sense because the Xbox S is still a better option. And I think for those people, even though it probably won't be too many of them, for those who, in my opinion, that was thinking about getting an Xbox One S, now's the time to get it. Because you said Xbox has no direction. Yeah, they got a direction, Shadow. They're trying to reach every single person on the planet. I think the way they're trying to do it probably is probably going to fail, but that is their plan. They plan to try to reach 2 billion gamers, 2 billion people rather. by allowing them to have access through their library through any device that basically has a pulse. If Microsoft could allow you to, if Microsoft was able to make it possible for you to get into their game library through your microwave, they would do it. So yes, Xbox has a direction, and it's called straight to the trash. So Xbox Sad Edition makes no sense because, to me, again, the Xbox One S is still a better option because it has the disc drive, a Blu-ray disc drive at that. So you can still watch 4K movies in HDR. And not only that, places like Walmart and Target have so many sales on the Xbox One S that is pretty much the standard price. You can catch an Xbox One S for $200 or $250, usually with 1 or 2 games. I bought my Xbox One S shortly after Battlefield 5 came out. I paid $250 for it, and it came with a copy of Battlefield 5. I don't play any games on it. It's basically a YouTube box because it's in my bedroom, and all I do is watch YouTube on it. Now, granted, I'm pretty much a full-time VR person now, but even if flat screen games still took precedence over VR for me, I still wouldn't be playing that Xbox One S because it ain't shit there, as far as exclusives goes, it ain't shit there. The only game I play on my Xbox One S is whenever my son contacts me and asks me if I want to play Gears of War multiplayer with him. Other than that, I do not play any games on my Xbox One S. So I went off the tracks a little bit, but still, point is, I was able to get that console for $250 with a game and still had the disc drive. But for the same $250, Microsoft is offering the SAD edition, which they removed the disc drive, but they still using the same faceplate, with the eject button on it, even though it's not there, even though there's no disc drive to eject the disc out of. Then they fucked you in the ass with the games they were offering. They offered you, I know one of the games that they offered was Forza Horizon 3, which is nothing but a big ass trap, because if you go off and play for Forza Horizon 3 and you end up liking the game, you are going to want to get Forza Horizon 4. And there's only 2 ways to get it. One is to outright buy the game or subscribe to Game Pass. It was a trap to offer Forza Horizon 3 with the Xbox SAD edition. And then I think, I can't remember, I think it also came with Minecraft, which is like 3 million years old. And I believe it came to Sea of Thieves, which is at this point of it be called Sea of Desert because there's nobody there. You said, so when is the Xbox handheld and Xbox VR coming out? It ain't gonna be no Xbox handheld. And then as far as Xbox VR coming out, there was a rumor that Microsoft, could be partnering up with Oculus to bring the Oculus Rift to Scarlet, which that to me would be the only thing that Microsoft would do right, because that would be huge for the growth of the VR industry. And I think Microsoft getting on board with the VR would be enough to tip some of these AAA developers like EA, 2K, and whoever else to start putting out VR games, because we already know Bethesda's on board with it because they're double dipping. They've made Skyrim, cracked everybody over the head for $60 for it, and then when they redid the game in VR, they turned around and charged everybody another $60 for the game. So I think that's going to be what Bethesda's going to be doing moving forward. They're definitely on board with VR, but I think they're going to introduce flat screen versions of the game, continue doing what they're doing. You get the flat screen version of the game, you pay $60 for it, and then about a year and a half later, you get the VR version of it and then have to pay another $60 for it. So they straight Bethesda's a straight peeling booties open with that shit. But in any case, so Xbox Sad Edition, it makes no sense, simply put, because the Xbox S is still there. It's still a better option. It's still a better value. But I do think that Microsoft has discontinued or will discontinue the Xbox One S very soon to force people's hand to buy the Xbox Sad Edition for entry into the Microsoft Xbox ecosystem. So I don't know why, maybe they don't want to pay Sony anymore for the blue. That was one of my philosophies, that they probably didn't want to pay Sony anymore for the rights to use the Blu-ray, technology or whatever. Or the contract could be up and they just didn't want to renew it. Who knows? But still, at this moment, while there's still some Xbox One S's out there, that is still the better value. And even if they've discontinued the Xbox One S and you can't find any in stores, I still think it would be a better move to purchase one off of Craigslist or something. Even though it's risky that you might be buying somebody's shit that don't work. Okay, so scratch that. A better move, even if the Xbox One S is discontinued, it would still be a better move to go to GameStop and buy a used one or a refurbished one. What's up, Jez? Oh, of course Xbox Sad is trash. Now, here's why Anaconda doesn't make any sense. The content. Plain and simple. I think this this Halo the Infinity or whatever it's supposed to be called, that looks like the game that they are going to showcase to take advantage of the power of Anaconda, which what we saw at E3 was not terribly impressive to me. To me, it just looked like the way that shit looked. To me, it looked like they just now kind of caught up to Sony with their exclusives, because Sony been making some great looking exclusives this entire generation. And Horizon Zero Dawn, as everybody pretty much agrees, Horizon Zero Dawn is what raised the bar for graphics, HDR, and all that stuff. That raised the bar, and it broke the Xbox back. It broke their fucking back. But when, we know when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, they was like salty and a motherfucker about that game, because that was a game that showed that that this supposed lack of power, what they can do with that. Rudy, you said Sony has exclusives on VR and console. Yeah. Excuse me. And then the other thing about this Halo Infinite, that game right there, I think that's the story of that game is going to be weak. On the E3 stage, the clip that you showed of Halo Infinite, you have Master Chief floating in space, clinging to life, which is what it appears. This guy brings him in, hooks him up to a very complex machine, and he activates the machine by plugging up a fucking extension cord. He takes two cords, plug them together, and that brings Master Chief back to life. You have got to be fucking kidding me. If that's what you got to show, I don't have a lot of faith that this Halo Infinite is going to have a good story. Impatient Fire, you said Xbox are going to be really mad when they see Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, all running on PS5. Not only that, you could very well see for the next generation Horizon Zero Dawn in VR. And if you end up seeing that, that would be another stake through the X thoughts. Master Chief can't survive in space for more than 15 minutes. The way that trailer looked uncompetitive, it gave me the impression that Master Chief was floating in space for weeks. And Christopher Hart, you said Master Chief is clinging to life after Sony killed Xbox this gen. He said it's a reboot. Cortana messed everything up. Even if it is a reboot, Jez, what kind of story is that telling where you bring Master Chief back to life by plugging up an extension cord? I mean, make it, isn't this supposed to be in the future? I mean, at least do something where maybe he's at a computer and he's putting his palm on there, for a scan or something like that, for access to activate whatever machine he was hooked up to. Plugging together 2 extension cords? Come on. I mean, that is so garage. You getting ready, because it, like, the way he plugged those 2 extension cords up, I'm like, what does this dude getting ready to do? Plug up a power saw or something? So it's just, I don't know. I guess, maybe I'm tripping over some petty shit, but to me, that doesn't look like a very compelling story when you bring somebody back to life by plugging up an extension cord. Said, I might be stupid, but X-Dots are willingly delusional. I can't save them. Nobody can. Phil will find a way to explain it. Yeah, I see you, Jazz. So I still didn't get into why Anaconda makes no sense, and I said it before, the content. People are really going to pay $500 or $600 for an Xbox Anaconda to get games like Bleeding Edge, these colorful, kitty-looking games? It would be the Xbox One X scenario all over again. You'd be paying $500 for a console, and you're not going to get any exclusive content that takes advantage of it. As far as Xbox exclusives goes, the enhancement patch that Gears of War 4 got, and Forza 7, I think those are the best looking exclusives that Microsoft has. And everybody pretty much knows that racing games aren't very demanding, so it wasn't going to be hard to make that game look good. But even as good as Forza looks, all the Sony exclusives still looks better than that with less power. And not only that, racing is niche. Racing, when it comes to video game, doesn't have a huge user base. So how many people going to break their backs to go out and buy Forza to display the power of the Xbox One X? That's this generation. So now we move forward to next generation. You're going to have games like, you're going to have Halo Infinite, which I'm willing to admit that it looks good, but it wasn't impressive. To me, it didn't look any better than any of the PlayStation exclusives that's out right now on the PlayStation Pro. So no, that's less than impressive. Looks good, but not impressive. So that's one game right there. But then the rest of it, the basis of Microsoft's library is going to be these AA looking bullshit games that's going to be in Game Pass, which I need to say it for the millionth time, bootleg developers for bootleg games. Microsoft said it themselves that the AA field hasn't really been charted, hasn't really been explored that much. And that's what they want to do. So they put out games, as they said, in a 2-3 year cadence. With that being said, get ready for some more games that's going to look like Bleeding Edge. I think 2 years from now, 2-3 years from now, Game Pass is going to have a good amount of these colorful looking games with State of Decay, Sea of Thieves type exclusives. With and you telling me that's going to be a reason to spend $500-600 for a console that's supposed to do all this ray tracing shit? You know, I really didn't pay attention to this ray tracing shit until I saw a video showing what this ray tracing is all about. So it looks like it's about reflective shit. You know, somebody walks on a floor that looks like it's been waxed or something like that, you're going to see their reflection on that floor. Where I didn't even think about that kind of shit. So neither of these consoles are going to do ray tracing, Fatal Shroud. Okay, I won't argue with that because I really don't know whether they're going to do it or not. But still, with the power, the rumored power that both of these consoles are supposedly going to have, does it make sense to pay $500 or $600 in order to play games like Bleeding Edge or Ori Will o' the Wisp? So with that being said, that's the bottom line. Xbox SA, the Xbox SAD edition makes no sense because the Xbox One S is a better option. The Xbox Scarlet makes no sense because Microsoft is not going to provide the content to justify that purchase. They're basically going to do like they did with the Xbox One X and rely on third-party developers and publishers to provide you with these games with the stunning graphics. So both of these consoles are going to be Navi-based, and Navi isn't doing ray tracing. So Bleeding Period is not worth it. So I think that's about it. So and I guess one other thing that I wanted to say is that currently, right now, and I've said this in JTech's PlayStation Legion podcast that I was on earlier today, and I've said it on Twitter. The PS4 plays physical disc. It plays digital content, and it streams. That is 3 functionalities. Microsoft appears to be making 3 separate devices for something that the PS4 can do all in one. You have your SAD edition for your digital content. You're going to the Xbox Mini for streaming, and Xbox Scarlet, which I'm led to believe is going to have a disk drive. But again, that's way too many devices. Who in the fuck is going to pay $250 for the Xbox SAD edition to play digital content and then turn around and spend another $60 for the ability to stream the same shit? So, which would be like astronomically stupid, but that's just Microsoft trying to leave no stone unturned. So, and as far as Anaconda goes, Microsoft knows that game is not going to sell, that console is not going to sell very well. So I think you might have a situation where Microsoft is only going to manufacture the Anaconda on an as-needed basis. I think Microsoft might manufacture maybe about 1 million consoles, 1.5 million consoles for launch. And then after that, they're only going to make them on an as-needed basis. I think they're only going to make them as retailers call them and order them. Or I wouldn't be surprised, like right now, the situation with the Oculus Quest. You can't walk into stores and get them because they all sold out. If you want one, you have to order it right now. I tried to wait for Best Buy to get some in on their shelves so I can just walk in and buy it. Can't get it. I had to order it. And I think in the case of the Oculus Quest, I don't think that was a situation of them trying to manufacture them on an as-needed basis. I think they just got scooped up, faster. They got some Oculus Quest there in Lansing. Yeah, but I don't want to drive there to get them. I did. Damn. Are you talking about the Best Buy in Lansing? Fatal Sherrod? Because at first I was like, hell no. And then I don't know. Now you got me thinking, Fatal Sherrod. You're at the Best Buy near the Lansing Mall? Damn. Don't cut it in stone, but I don't know. There could be a trip to Lansing in my future because I don't want to, get this Oculus Quest through Amazon. The biggest reason why I didn't want to order the Oculus Quest is because nobody wants to like Best Buy. They won't let you order it and pick it up from the store. At least from what I was seeing, it was like, pickup store not available. You have to have it sent to your home. And I don't want to do that because these days, like UPS and United States Parcel Service and shit like that, they don't do that shit anymore where they, knock on your door and then you sign to receive the package. They just leave the shit on your porch and walk off. And if it gets stolen, you just fucked. And that's why I didn't want to order it. But at least with Amazon, you get up to the second text messages as, every time, the next operation is completed. But if I do end up checking Best Buy and they end up having some, it's very well possible I could come up there tomorrow or Tuesday and get one. I'm not looking forward to the drive, but at the same time, shit, when I take my son home, that's about an hour drive. So fuck it. So I will definitely check that out. But I'm gonna get ready to shut it down so I can get some gaming in. It's 9:30. I also have to start getting prepared for tomorrow, make my lunch and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have to get that out of the way first before I start gaming. But out of those 3 devices that I've covered, the Xbox Sad Edition, the Xbox Mini, Xbox Anaconda, the Xbox Mini is really the only one that makes sense. And out of all these devices that I mentioned, the Xbox Anaconda makes the least amount of sense. Because if Microsoft is going to rely on third-party developers to provide you with the kind of graphics that you want to see, why buy it? When you can get the PS5, you're gonna get those same third-party games as well as the better looking PS5 exclusives. If you're gonna be a graphics whore, Anaconda makes no sense. PS5 makes a ton of sense. Because again, you're gonna get the third-party games and you're gonna continue to get these high budget PS5 exclusives that I believe are going to look better than third party. I believe they're going to look better than third party games. Because for the most part, how many? The way things are right now, how many third party games look better than the PlayStation exclusives? How many third-party games look better than God of War or Spider-Man or Detroit Become Human? You won't get those games if you buy Anaconda. All you're going to get is whatever the third parties have to offer. Because again, I highly doubt that somebody's going to spend $500-$600 for Anaconda to be able to play Bleeding Edge or Ori and the Will of the Wisp. The same way I highly doubt people bought the Xbox One X with the intentions of playing Disney Zoo Tycoon. So again, one more time, I'm going to put my video in the comment section right there. That's the video I made back in January of 2018, where I predicted that Microsoft could conceivably make some kind of Xbox Fire Stick. And it looks like, if these rumors are true, it looks like it's going to materialize in the form of the Xbox Mini. So, but, you know, I called it, but it wasn't some kind of thing where I'm trying to act like a prophet. It was a no-brainer because that's what OnLive did. You know, Microsoft is taking elements from OnLive and, you know, and elements of other things and, you know, making the xCloud. So Microsoft is not original. They, you know, Microsoft are copycats. They piggyback off of people. Microsoft is scared to take chances. They wait for other people to do the legwork. And then when they find success, Microsoft tries to sweep in and get a piece of that pie. Anaconda will probably sell worse than Xbox One next gen. Of course, because because of the content, Microsoft has given you zero reasons to purchase this console. Because now with the rumors swirling about that the PS5 might be the more powerful than Xbox Scarlet, the one bragging right that the Xbox had with the Xbox One X, they didn't, you know, they still found a way to try to spin that shit, where even though these PlayStation exclusives look better than anything over on that platform, they were still bragging about the 6.4 teraflops and that they had the world's most powerful console. What are they going to have to brag about next generation if Scarlet does not have more power than the PS5? Even if the differences between them are microscopic, just for the simple fact that Scarlet would have less power than the PS5, you have stripped away the one thing that they can brag about. So now you don't have better exclusive, and now you don't have the more powerful console. What do you have to brag about over on the Xbox side now? Oh, so if it turns out Anaconda, it's going to be interesting to see what a lot of these Xbox-centric YouTubers do if Anaconda turns out not to be more powerful than the PS5. Your games are going to be trash, and you're going to have the weaker console. And you're going to have a service filled with bullshit AA games and 360 games that nobody ever played, or they're way past their shelf life. So, as much as I hate to admit it, if Anaconda has less power than the PS5, people like MBG, even though I think he's a fraud, him flipping over to the PlayStation side might end up being permanent. Because what's he gonna go back to the Xbox side and brag about? Especially when it appears that more and more people are jumping ship and coming over to the PlayStation side. I mean, next generation, the Xbox, as far as the console goes, could be a desert. What are you going to brag about with Anaconda? What kind of features are you going to brag about? The PlayStation 5 is probably going to have every one of those features and then some, and then have the better content. You said, Garuda, you said you'll just roast. And Andrew Wilkins, you said Xbox are upset with a sad name. They call it, are they calling it Sade or Sade, as in the singer Sade? But you know, I think I got my point across. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I said that about 10 minutes ago. I said I was gonna wrap it up, but I think I had found something to add to that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here now. I got to get ready to eat and get everything in order for tomorrow, and then close the night out with some gaming. So with that being said, you know, give it a like, comment, all that stuff. Make sure you go back and check out my video. It's only a 5-minute video, but you can see that I kind of, it's just making the point that I kind of saw this shit coming, a year and a half ago. You know, and I've had a ton of conversations with King Thrash, and I even mentioned it in that video that I had a lot of conversations with him about the direction that Microsoft was going. So make sure you check that video out. As far as this stream goes, give it a like, comment, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna get ready to boogie on out of here. Y'all have a good one, and I will talk to y'all soon. I am out.